Hello, there was a major surprise announcement today. Monday, November 12, will be local government elections. The other headlines are President Granger meets opposition leader for consultation on appointments to the Police and Public Service Commission. Smart classrooms bridging education gap between coast and hinterland. And Barakara farmers told not to forsake soil for oil. And now for the details. November 12 has been announced as the date for local government elections. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan made a surprise announcement today. Here are the details.
Local government elections will again be held later this year, in November of this year. And in fact, though I've not made a public announcement before, and it was not my intention to do so, an order is expected, an order issued by me is expected to be gazetted today, naming the November 12th to be the date when local government elections will be held.
This is the second local government elections to be held under the current administration. These elections are constitutionally due every 2 years. Under the 23-year-old PPP administration, they were only held once.
It speaks to the commitment and the sincerity and the determination of this administration to honor pledges given by it when we were in opposition, to rebuild this broken and damaged system of local government that we inherited.
Minister Bulkan made the announcement today as he addressed the 12th Annual National Two Shows Council at the Artichon Convention Center. He was among a team of ministers on hand to address matters of concern to the indigenous leaders. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The last local government elections was held on March 18, 2016. And now for the next story. President David Granger met with opposition leader Bharat Jagdeo to consult on the appointments for the Police and Public Service Commissions. Here's this report.
The meeting was held at State House. The leader of the opposition was accompanied by former Attorney General Anil Nandlal and Opposition Chief Whip Gail Teixeira, while Minister of State Joseph Harman and Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams accompanied President Granger. Minister Harman explained the meeting was to satisfy constitutional requirements for the establishment of the Public and Police Service Commissions.
The requirement was for meaningful consultation and not necessarily agreement. And so that consultation took place, and now I believe we can proceed with having the two commissions established, and the President will, at a short time from now, have those two commissions sworn in, so the work can continue.
In June, the National Assembly adopted the nominees for the Public and Police Service Commission. Retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Slow was among the 3 nominees for the Police Service Commission, while Vincent Brown was one of the 2 adopted for the Public Service Commission. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
The National Two Shows Council was assured by Minister of Public Telecommunications Catherine Hughes that the government has started bridging the divide in the education sector through the creation of smart classrooms. Stacey Carmichael tells us more.
The hinterland region's landscape poses several challenges for the delivery of information and communication technology. Understanding this, Minister Hughes said the government, through its ICT program, is moving to bridge the divide, particularly in the education sector. She explained the smart classroom concept to the National Two Shows Council during a presentation on Wednesday evening at the Arthur Chung Conference Center.
Just like how you could see me on that TV screen, the child in St. Ignatius or Naputa, wherever, would put up her hand. Teacher, I got a question. And the teacher would be seeing just as you're seeing there. Yes, we have a question for a student in Napi. Please, what's your question? And the teacher would be able to answer. Now, why is that so important? It is important because when it comes to education, we are saying that you are not going to have a disadvantage just because you are in a remote or a hinterland or an interior location.
The same principle applies for hinterland-based teachers. Minister Hughes explained they will soon be able to complete a teacher's training course via the internet.
So you don't even have to move and leave your family and come to Georgetown. You're going to be able to do that online. Now, the other thing, too, is that any one of us that wants to go online and go and do any of the many free courses.
The Public Telecommunications Minister informed the NTC that over 157 schools have been connected across the country, including several in the hinterland. Some of these include Aishalton, Sand Creek, St. Ignatius, Anai and Karasbai Secondary, and the Bena Hill Institute. She urged the council to continue working with the government to continue the transformation process, which will aid in the development of their communities. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Thanks for staying with us. Local fishermen will be exposed to some hands-on training in oil spill response, U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil said. The company believes that it would be in the best interest of the fishermen to be equipped with the critical knowledge. Details from Alexis Rodney.
Safety, Security, Health and Environmental Officer of ExxonMobil's local operation, Michael Prasad, made the disclosure recently. He was at the EPA's Environmental Impact Assessment meeting at the Fishport Complex at number 66 Village, Quarantine Berbiste on Tuesday.
They're the guys who actually go out there, they know the water, they know the resource, and there's nobody who is better than those folks who actually know it, rather than people who never went out there, never understand the current and tides and everything. So you are right. So I can assure you that we will involve them.
According to Prasad, the National Oil Spill Response Committee, which includes officials from the EPA, the Ministry of Health, and the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard, has been conducting oil spill response training. He said that the Agriculture Ministry's Fisheries Department will engage the committee to ensure that fishermen have practical and theoretical training. ExxonMobil's operations manager Mike Ryan told the fishermen that the company is aware of their concerns and assured that the oil company will take every necessary measure to preserve the environment.
So we do everything we can up front to prevent anything from happening, but if something does happen, we respond immediately. We have people on deck that are watching. Any oil on the water, we respond. A teaspoon of water is unacceptable. We will respond to everything.
Now for some good news from the rice sector. The first crop is approximately 99% completed. Anara Khan tells us more.
General Manager of the Guyana Rice Development Board, Nizam Hassan, said the harvested paddy production for the first half of 2018 is almost complete.
We've produced 508,000 tons of paddy, which is equivalent to 330,000 tons of rice. And that also equates to almost 100%, just 99% of the land area that was cultivated. 99% has been harvested.
According to Hassan, this satisfies local and international markets. He analyzed the industry's export performance.
Going forward, we see and we know we have adequate supplies for our local consumption and also for our markets that we've tapped into. When we look at the figures comparing to the first half of 2017, we saw firstly that the total volume that has been exported is 290,000 tons, which is 43% more than the 203,000 tons that was exported during the first half of 2017. In terms of the value, $111 million US. That's the value of the export for the first half of 2018 compared to 77 million for the first half of 2017.
In preparation for 2018 second crop, 86,660 hectares of land has been prepared. 76,500 plus hectares have been sown, 86% of the projected tillage. The rice regions are Region 2, Region 3, Region 4, Region 5, Region 6, and Region 9. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Don't forsake soil for oil. That was the message to farmers in Barakara up the Kanji River as they were advised to make use of ICT and not lose sight of the importance of farming. Crystal Stull has this report.
This advice was given by a minister within the Ministry of Social Protection, Keith Scott, on July 17. The minister led a delegation to meet with the community's cooperative and hand over its certification of registration.
The computer is the future, and the future is now. So you have an opportunity for the young leaders to understand the nature of the soil, to understand that the soil is not dirty in your hands, but that it feeds you.
Director of Sports Christopher Jones encouraged the residents to not lose sight of the soil even with the rise of the oil and gas sector.
You know, Guyana has discovered oil. As I said to people in Georgetown, is that while we're focusing on oil, don't lose sight of the soil.
Several Baracara farmers formed the co-op group, which was recently regularized. Head of the Baracara Cooperative Group, Ronald Amsterdam, gave the assurance that the group will work towards enhancing agriculture in the region through the use of ICT. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
We leave you with your bridge and weather reports and scenes from the NTC conference. Goodbye.
Bye.